It's Byron Talks. Like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Let's get into it. I think what we don't understand as people is we're really in a battle against ourselves. You look at all aspects of your life. Think of the relationships you've been in. A lot of times you may look at it like, this person did me wrong. I'm struggling in the dating world. It just sucks. It's pee in the dating pool. You know how people say it's pee in it. It's piss. They say all type of stuff. The dating world just sucks. But what we don't understand is we're really in a battle with ourselves. Why does the dating world suck? I'm sure when you ask people that question, the first thing they're going to do is point out all the negative things that they've experienced, all the negative people in the dating world, and what the men aren't doing, what the women aren't doing. So, and I hear women say more so that the dating world sucks than men, but for the sake of the conversation, we're dealing with it from a general standpoint. But you hear people saying this piss in the dating pool, but the reality is, why is it? The dating world to me is just the dating world. Why sit here and complain about what's out there when I'm not looking inside, when I'm not looking internally at what's causing the dating world to suck? So let's talk about it. The dating world sucks to a lot of people, and I'm gonna give a different, I'm gonna give different reasons. One reason the dating world sucks is because there is a lack of being intentional about dating. When you get into the dating world, you got to understand you're dealing with people. I'm talking about all types of people with different mentalities, different intentions, different childhoods, different backgrounds. I mean, different cultures. So when you get into the dating world, first of all, you have to be intentional. And a lot of people are not intentional when they go into the dating world. They go into the dating world not expressing their intentions and not understanding the intentions of the person that they are dating or trying to get to know. For example, before you even get into the dating world, understand that just like I'm going into the dating world with an intention, everybody else is going in with an intention too. The thing is, you have to find out, and it's on you. It's not on nobody else. It's on you to find out what are the intentions of the person you have decided to go on a date with. It's on you. That goes for women and that goes for men. It's on you to decide that. Decide what it is that that person is actually going into the dating world for. So if it's that guy that you're talking to on what, Tinder, uh I don't know, whatever website you own, Bumble, Hinge, whatever they got out there, it's up to you to find that out. So when you go on that dinner date, that coffee date at the bar, if you know you're going into that date knowing that in my heart, I truly want a relationship. If you know you truly want a relationship, long term, you need to find out if that man or that woman's intentions align with your intentions. How do you do that? The first thing to doing that is asking questions. Now, me generally, me naturally, excuse me, I'm naturally a person that's inquisitive, people would say, and very analytical. Um, I love to evaluate things. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask questions. I already got questions. Some people may not be as quick on their feet to ask questions and know what to ask. So if you know that you're not that type of person where you don't know what to ask, you may need to sit down before you even go on the date and have questions mapped out, like what I want to ask. I want to ask her, what is her purpose of dating? What is she doing? What is dating? What does dating look like for her or him? When was the last time you like? When was the last time you know you can ask these questions casually? When was the last time you've been on a date? How did it go? Like what? How did it go? Did you enjoy it? And let's say they say no. Ask them why. Because guess what? You can learn so much by just asking people questions. It's simple. You can just be asking questions and you can get a whole understanding. Because guess what? You can learn a lot about them by how their last date went. If they decide to say, yeah, I went on a date and I didn't I didn't like the girl. Okay, why didn't you like the girl? Because she was just like she just wanted to just talk and have conversation. And for me, man, it's like, why talk so much? Let's just have fun. Mm. So I just learned that you just want to you're into fun. You're not really into having conversations. Okay. That sounds like that could be a possible short-term fun type guy. Okay, all right. Let's see what else. Um, okay, that's good. Okay, okay. So, what was the last? When was the last? Last time you had a relationship? All these questions, even if you have to write them down, you get a picture of the person that you're talking to. And now you don't even necessarily have to say, are you looking for a relationship? You may not even have to ask that question. It's just other little things you can ask can allow you to see what they're on and what they're about. Now, should you be direct with your questions? I believe some questions you can be direct. At the same time, it's the first date. You don't want to run somebody off just by asking a direct question that's not necessarily wise at the moment to ask. Like me going into a date, I'm not going to just ask certain questions direct, like hitting them like that, because I want people to get comfortable enough to tell the truth. Because when you start being direct, a lot of times people lie to you when you direct, and they'll lie even if you're indirect. But a lot of times when you hit people direct, it can come too aggressive and it can cause them to operate differently and move in a different way. So I like to tell people to just ask certain questions, certain general questions. Okay, what's your thoughts on relationships? Have you ever been in a long-term relationship before? Have you ever been in a short-term relationship before? What does that look like? Okay, what's your thoughts on friends with benefits relationships? Like, you think that's a good thing? Um, where would you take a woman on a ideal date night? Like you can just be just hitting them with questions, or hitting her with questions, and you can learn so much about her. Even with women, men, you can ask them certain questions, and you can learn so much about them without even having to open up your pockets and start throwing money at them. You can learn whether they even worthy of getting the money that you have by asking her. So tell me about yourself. Stuff like that, right? Tell me about yourself. She started talking. I did that. Okay, okay. Yeah, cause I'm good. Like you can tell even when they come with a certain attitude where they at mentally. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Last date you been on? Okay, how did that go? Where you went? All right. And a guy like me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna do like the hypothetical thing. I like to ask the hypothetical questions. Let's say, for example, you was in a relationship with a man that was seeking to marry you, and he didn't, but he never really asked you, but he told you, in a sense he told you that he's looking for marriage, but he didn't ask you necessarily. but y'all have talked about it before, and it's been 2 years. How you feel about a guy that does a woman like you said? I'm just throwing out hypothetical stuff, but just pushing these questions out like that can really get somebody and get an understanding of them, and that way you can be intentional and you know what you're looking for and you know what they're looking for. I say that because a lot of times people say the dating world is wrong and the dating world sucks, and really the reality is some of these things you could have avoided if accountability, you were intentional. Another reason why the dating pool sucks, as people say, some of it comes down to we, as in this modern generation, we think differently than the people back in the day. That's the reality. Our lifestyles, in a sense, have changed from back in the day. First of all, it wasn't as easy to even get a date as it is now in this day and age because of technology and social media. Think about it. How many of our parents were online getting dates? Yeah, we know a lot of them back in the day was doing stuff they shouldn't have been doing and are being wild or whatever you want to call it, but the access is different now. It's a wider pool to look at now in the dating world because we have technology and means that nobody had. For example, think about this. Somebody can put something on social media. A woman put something on social media some time ago about the woman said she not dating an average man that make 50K or something like that. 50K, a man that makes 50K shouldn't be dating. Don't you know that woman lives, I don't even know where she lives, but she lives somewhere in the United States, right? I'm sure I don't live in the same city that she lives in, but guess what? I'm still able to tap in and see what she said. So now, because technology is out there, we're able to see so many things, good or bad. And let's just be honest, what we see on social media does influence us. It does, whether it's positive or negative. So I think even having those social media um, influences, they are impacting the dating world because now people look at those things and take from that and go right out in the world and think this is what they should do or what they shouldn't do, and it can cause issues. So I do believe this the influence, of social media is also a reason why the social media the dating pool is terrible and it sucks to people. But it comes down to you being intentional. It comes down to that. And the last thing before I go is not only you being intentional, but you also being accountable for the decisions that you are making. We have to stop complaining and not taking responsibility for the errors that we are making. A lot of these decisions we are making, we're doing this. It's not everybody's fault why you are struggling. Some of these things are due to mistakes that you've made, and yes, can you come back from those mistakes and be successful? Can you get a great life after your a mistake? Yes, you can, but you have to understand the impact that your mistake have made. You gotta understand the impact. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. It's Byron Talks. Like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. That is it, folks.